then I got the other coats of paint on in the cab over area. And I got, slide out still not in. I got the cabinet doors mounted in here, all but that one. So got the handles on and all the new hardware. I think it looks pretty good. Definitely coming together. So I've got the countertops that I'm doing next. Just wanted to get these cabinet doors on and out of my shop because I've got other work I'm doing this week. And while this countertop is curing, I can, be out in my shop working without dust getting all over these doors. So this evening, I'm going to get the 2 coats of epoxy countertop paint on, and that way it can cure for the 3 or 4 days that it needs to cure. And then we can start doing the floor, and then the slide out goes in. So getting there. Probably just, I don't know, maybe another week, and this thing will be on the truck and ready to go. And we are really looking forward to that. We're going to do a couple of shakedown trips. We've got maybe a trip to the Redwoods planned in the next few weeks, and then we're going up to Tahoe for a week, and gonna stay in the truck camper up there. So gonna do Truckee and Lake Tahoe. That should be pretty fun. So stay tuned for those. Getting this truck camper buttoned up and getting it loaded up and doing a shakedown run, and then some good long camping trips. So stay tuned for that. All right, well, it's morning. Just came out here and cleaned off the countertop and got the faucet removed and my little 12-volt plug that's there. I already had the stovetop taken off, the cover taken off. And I'm taping up the sink. I just wanted to show you a little tip on taping this stuff up. When you go to tape up your sink, it doesn't matter if you've got a stainless steel or porcelain or whatever. Just run your tape over the edge and overlap onto the countertop, and take your utility knife and just get right in the edge and follow the line of the sink, and then you can just peel your tape, then you've got a nice clean edge all the way around. You can do that on the corners first. I just lay a piece of tape over the top, just overlapping, cut my edge, do that on all 4 corners, and then do your long edges. Once that's all taped up, you can start rolling. I've already sanded. I did 120 grit just to take some of the sheen off of the Formica, and cleaned it all off with a degreaser. And I'm gonna finish taping this and get to rolling on the paint. I don't think it's necessary to tape up this edge. The stovetop, the burner top overlaps. So if I get a little bit of the countertop paint on this metal, it's not going to make a difference. I am going to use a brush to get these edges here that are close to the range. If I can get down in there, great. If not, it's not a big deal because the cover goes over the top of it. All right, there's 2 coats of the Rustoleum Countertop paint. Just rolled it on. Well, I brushed around the edges with a foam brush first, and then I went through and did all the big stuff with the roller, and then ran the roller around the edges just to get a nice even finish. There's a few lines in it, but I'm not too worried about that. When this dries, it dries kind of a satin finish. It's not glossy, so you won't see those lines as much. So pretty happy with it. Went on real easy. Good coverage, 2 coats, and I don't think I need a third. It seems to be covering real well, so happy with that. Now it's got to dry for 3 or 4 days, and I can come in and get the range vent, the exhaust vent put in, and the stove covers and stuff, and start putting this thing back together. Get the backsplash on, get the floor in, all that good stuff. So getting there. So one thing about that, the countertop paint is you put your first coat on and then you have to recoat within an hour or after 24 hours. So you don't have to wait for the full cure, but you do have to wait for it to dry a little bit before you put your second coat on, if you can't get your second coat on within that first hour, which I did. I just recoated right after I did the first coat. I did the second coat, so seems to be enough, and I'm not going to put a third coat on unless after it dries and I see that it needs some touch-up spots. I'll just touch up areas where if any of that green Formica shows through, I'll just touch it up. And I got my top corner bracing on both sides of the slide out, so that's that was one last step I needed to do before I could get the slide out put in. But obviously I need to wait for the countertops to cure before I can do that, and then I'll get that slide out put in. Well, just finished the third coat on the countertops. I wasn't going to do a third coat, but after this started to dry, I saw a couple little spots where the green was still bleeding through just in the corners. So went ahead and did a third coat on the whole thing. And well, that third coat really covered everything perfectly. So if you're going to do this, I do suggest 3 coats. It just covers a lot better with that third coat. So to show you here real quick what it looks like. Of course, I still haven't got my oven stuff and the vent put back in yet, but I think it looks really good. It's pretty even. I was afraid there were going to be some roller lines and brush stroke lines, but there's a little one right here, barely noticeable, and it should settle out as it dries. So I'm pretty happy with this stuff. Did that front edge also. So the countertop paint from Rustoleum was about 23 bucks, and it comes in a pint can, and I only used about with 3 coats a little bit less than half of a can, so I still have enough for touch-ups in case we get scratches and stuff like that down the road. So yeah, I mean, for 23 bucks, I think it turned out pretty good. So anyway, gonna let that finish drying, and then let's see, about 4 days cure time, and then I can you know, start putting the stove top back on, the exhaust vent, and get the flooring in and the slide out in. And we should be pretty much ready to do our shakedown run. We're going to do a quick trip over to the coast, to the Redwoods, and maybe spend 3 or 4 days over there just to make sure everything's working properly and that it is you know, holding up well, and make changes if we need to. But then we're going to head off to, hopefully we're going to head off to Tahoe for a week or so, maybe 10 days, and do some camping and visit some relatives. So looking forward to getting back in the truck camper for sure. Anyway, I'm going to end this video now, and well, we'll catch you on the next one. Later.